Yeah.
Welcome to Destined for Success. I'm your host, Jennifer Takagi, and today I have a real treat for you. We have actually my virtual personal trainer, Natalie Hurdley, and Natalie is in the UK, and she can tell us a little bit more about specifically where she is in a second. But people are saying how much they hate being virtual and they're sick of being online, but I'm just saying, I've met some amazing women being online, Natalie being one of them. I've been working out with her since the 1st of January. So we're at, 2.5, 3 month mark here. And I keep teasing her that, am I going to be any better? And she was like, look how much more you can do than you could just a week ago. So it's amazing how quickly this works. And we're going to talk about that some. Natalie, thanks for taking the time to join me. I know you've already had a really busy day today. And we're 5 hours apart right now. Guess what, people? UK doesn't change, time change the same time we do. So we had to work that out. But guess what? We did. Hey, Natalie, tell us about you. What do you do, Miss Virtual Personal Trainer?
Thanks so much for having me. I'm honored. So as Jennifer said, I am a virtual personal trainer. I have been personal training for nearly 17 years now.
You started young, didn't you?
I did. I started my business when I was 17, simply because I didn't think I was able to take instruction from other people. Basically, I had grew up in playing professional soccer, football to me, soccer to you guys. And our coach had us under the thumb. He was really tough. So when I came out of that and I went to college, I thought going into coaching and coaching people and changing people's lives through sport, like my life had been changed through sport, was where I wanted to go. And then as I went through college, I realized how much of a rebel I was in terms of challenging. So I really like to learn. And my lecturer would tell me off all the time. Stop questioning me. Like, I'm not questioning you because I think you're wrong. I'm questioning you because I want to understand deeper. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm just unemployable. I'll just work for myself. It's fine.
And chances are you weren't unemployable, but you would have had to have the right boss, right? Because not all of them are involved.
Exactly.
So you started your business before you even entered college, right? Or are your ages that much different than ours?
Yeah, so ours are slightly different. So we leave school at 16.
Okay.
Unless we decide to carry on for another 2 years. So I left school at 16, and instead of carrying on at school, I went to college from the age of 16 to 18. So I started my business in between my 2 years.
So as you were getting close to the end, you were like, yeah, I'm doing this myself. So what prompted you to do personal training versus I'm going to throw the term out coach kind of loosely, but instead of coaching a football team, soccer for us in America, although the podcast is listened to worldwide, so who knows who's listening? What made you decide to work with individuals on their personal journey? Was there a backstory to that on why you thought that was important?
I spoke to my lecturer, and she knew that football was my passion. She knew that the coaching, that was where my mind was. That's what I wanted to do. And then as I learned more and more during my education, I was like, I'm going to be very restricted to what I can do. And I don't like the idea of that. I don't like the idea of being restricted. So I spoke to her about it, and she said to me, well, if you go into personal training, you can coach whoever you want on anything. You just need to do the research first. Where if you go into coaching football, you're tied to one sport and one team, probably one age group as well. And she said, you don't get that with personal training, but you can still use all of your coaching knowledge in your personal training. So when I first started personal training, I specifically coached amateur athletes.
Oh, wow.
So I could marry the two together and learn. And it wasn't until I was 21 that I moved the gym where I was renting space, and I started to train businessmen and stay-at-home moms. And that was when my niche changed. Yeah.
So you went away from the amateur athletes and more to people like me.
Yeah, I think I still train amateur athletes even today, and I still love it. But I also find helping busy people who are struggling to prioritize their health but actually want to, I find that really rewarding. The older I get, I find it more rewarding.
So when you say get their health, so I've been working out with you with weights for several months now, and I just want to tell everybody who's listening out there, I can lift way more today, like substantially more than I could when I started. And we only play together one time a week for an hour. And she didn't, she takes no prisoners. There is no mercy. You're going to do it till it's over. But like, what is it about my health that's improving? Like, I kind of have a few ideas, but I know you know some specifics. Like, just because I have more muscle, obviously, because I can lift more. Overall, what is happening health-wise for me?
I think the biggest thing in your journey was when we first started working together, we had a weekly plan. You were going to see me once a week where we were going to lift, but you were also going to do your water aerobics class 3 times a week, because that's something you were already doing. And then your life took over. Things happened in your life that you couldn't control, and none of that happened. So you coming to me that one time a week was the one sort of definite that you had. And I think that made a huge change, a huge difference in your health, but in your mindset and in your life as well. Because without that one appointment, who knows what you'd have got done exercise wise? Probably nothing, because everything was just crazy in your life. So that was really good.
And so, but like physically,
yeah,
like what has improved? Like that I don't even know about.
Yeah. So your strengths, 100%. And this is really important. Your muscular strengths, your muscular endurance, your power, and your explosiveness has all improved.
Well, okay, I get the strength and endurance, but what's explosiveness?
So explosiveness is like coming out of the starting blocks. If a runner is in a starting block, the faster they're out of that block is their explosiveness. And yours, when it comes to weights, has increased. So you're faster out of the blocks. You don't struggle. You don't fight against your first rep where you used to.
And that was twofold. Part of that was mindset of I can't do this, and part of it was like I didn't really have the strength to do it at that point.
I remember you saying to me, "You want me to add more weight? You're crazy. More weight?" And then we did it, and I was like, "See, you did it."
So I just, for those of you listening versus seeing the video version of this, when we would start, Natalie will tell me what to do, and then I kind of look up because we're on Zoom, and I have no idea what she's doing, and I'll say, I wonder if I lost count, and she'll say, oh, well, 3 more or whatever. She doesn't keep count, and you just need to know, I worked with a trainer once before years ago. They lie. If you don't keep track of your own reps, they're just going to add more. It's just going to happen. And I don't know what she's doing behind the scenes. She's just doing her thing while I'm trying to do what I'm supposed to. So Tell me a little bit about your competitions, because backstory, I I did stuff. I played softball when I was a little kid. I was in gymnastics, ice skating. I ran track 2 years. That was not my sport. And, so I did some of the things, but I'm going to be clear and honest. I won some ribbons in gymnastics, and I was never very good at anything, but I also was never very committed. Like, I showed up at the class, I did the thing, and then I was kind of done. And so I'm shocked, stunned, and amazed by athletes. I have season tickets to the Thunder basketball. I go to most of the games. Occasionally I skip, but I go to most of the games. The fact that these men have been doing this since they were a little kid, right? And they're committed to their craft, to their sport. Olympics, I will watch anything, including curling. I don't even really get it. They keep explaining it to me, but yeah, I don't get it. But it's the commitment piece and I'm going to do this. I have this goal, and I'm just amazed by it. And like, I'm going to watch anything because I'm like, wow, like, how do you get that mindset? How do you do that? And when we first met months and months ago on just a coffee chat, you were like, yeah, I'm getting ready to compete in this deal. And it was like, hey, Natalie, by the way, how'd that go? And you're like, oh, yeah, I got all gold medals, no big deal. I'm like, holy crap, what? So tell me how you got into competitive, I'm going to call it lifting. Is that what it's called?
Powerlifting.
Powerlifting?
Yeah.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah.
And all that you've won, because like, I'm mesmerized.
Cool. I think that the main thing that's important here is I didn't start powerlifting until I was 30 years old. And to me, that's old for an athlete to start something new. But actually in powerlifting, it isn't. It isn't at all. So yeah, I started at the end of 2019. I did a charity competition, fell in love with it, fell in love with the whole process. I'd never been in a sport before where your competitors were cheering you on.
Wow.
And we get that in powerlifting. And it wasn't just your competitors, but your competitors' parents and friends are cheering you on as well. Everybody wants to win and everybody's really competitive, but everybody's also wants you to do your best, which is completely the opposite to basketball, football, anything like that. That's the opposite. You're there chanting against the opposite team.
As much as I'm for my person, I'm equally against the other kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing for me. And then the world decided to shut down. So I had that. And then in the UK, our gyms were shut for a very long time. And my coach, my lifting coach, he built a gym in his back garden. With him and two of his friends, they built a building in his back garden and turned it into a gym. And we've just been going there ever since. And then in 2021, things started to ease off a little bit. And he said to me, I think you should try and qualify for the British Championships. Okay. So I went along, I qualified. I was like, I'm so happy, I'm going to the British. And then my coach went, I think you should try and qualify for the World Championships now. And I thought he meant the following year. And he went, no, the qualifier for that's in 5 weeks. Let's go. So
5 weeks. 5 weeks. Okay.
So I went to the qualifier. And for me, the goal at the qualifier was to just do better than my last competition. It wasn't to qualify. And when I did qualify, I was very surprised. And my coach was like, okay, now you've got to book your tickets to Poland because we're going to Poland.
I think that's about the time we met because you were in and your tickets were bought. So
yeah. So yeah, in October, flew to Poland, and I won 3 gold medals and broke 2 world records. And yeah, very happy about it. And then the British was in November, and I got a silver medal at the British as well.
So congratulations. I mean, what an accomplishment, and especially in a short period of time. And I don't know that I'll ever want to power lift or like, work out that hard or, eat those foods, whatever all the things are that take you to get there. But I love the fact that in most sports, 30 is old. But in powerlifting, it's not. I mean, that's like kind of a good starting point. So that like sets in my mind that you're not too young. Like you're not, I mean, you're not too old. You're not too old to start. There's a book that I share with people quite often, and it's called Younger Next Year. And the authors, there's a gentleman who's over 70 and his doctor who's in his 40s. So the older man goes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, if you worked out more, these numbers would be better. And he was like, what? And so the audiobook is great because one chapter is read by the older gentleman and one is read by the doctor. So you're getting all the scientific background, and then you're getting what the gentleman did to move forward. And so there's a lot of research around the fact that if you start eating healthier and working out, that you physiologically can make your body act like it's a year younger than it was the year before because it's working so much more efficiently. And I'm confident I'm not like at that level of commitment at this point, but I love the fact that it doesn't matter when you start, as long as you start, as long as you do something. And that's like with water aerobics. They've moved to a different pool, but there were women in their 90s getting around beautifully in and out of the pool, and they liked the pool because it was easier on their joints. And I was like, holy moly, I want to be 90 something and coming to the gym. And, if I keep lifting weights with you, then those possibilities, skyrocket on that. The other thing that you pointed out that is so big to me is your goal was to do better than last time. And I do a lot around leadership, and I do trainings for the state. And one of the things I say all the time is, if you didn't do it well yesterday, and I've just shared a better way with you today on how to do it differently or better, tomorrow you've got a chance to be better, do better, the whole bit. So I think that's kind of ironic that we like have this a little bit of the same languaging of, that improvement piece.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's always my goal. Every time I step on a platform, do better than the last time I was on a platform. And if I don't do better, I go to my coach. I'm like, why didn't that go better? And we have a look at it and we discuss it. And then we formulate a plan for the next time.
I like that you have plans, because when we did have our first conversation, you were like, what do you do now? And typically I do go to water aerobics 3 times a week. It's pretty rare for me not to go at all. But like you said, January and February, just totally crazy months for me. And I did go, just not as often. So I wasn't fully on our plan. But our plan was water aerobics 3 times a week, once a week with Natalie. And then on Saturday, do something, go for a walk, ride my bike, something. And then off Thursdays and Sundays. That was like our routine that we set up that would fit my life. But you're working with people literally all over the world, are you not? I know you've got quite a few American clients, and you're in the UK, which is a bit a ways.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. I really enjoy learning and being able to learn more about things going on in America. My geography of America has definitely got better. But just learning about other people's ways and cultures and just little bits and pieces is fantastic. I love it.
Well, and the other thing is, do you not have people actually bring their iPad or their phone to the gym with them so you can coach them in the gym?
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways that people do things. Some people take me outside depending on the weather, wherever they are. Some people have me in their house like what we do, and then some people take me to their gym, and it's brilliant because they put their earphones in, they put their phone or their iPad against their bottle of water so I can see everything that I need to see, and we can just go. And what I love about this is a lot of the women that come to me are terrified of the gym. They've got a gym membership. They walk into the gym, they look around, and then they're like, I have no idea what to do. So I'm going to go and hide in that corner on that machine because that's what I know. And that's what I'm going to do. And what I do, the first session is I teach them how to use the equipment. If they don't already know. And then we go through techniques and we go, right, we're going to set it up this way. We're going to slow this down. We're going to do this way. And then they go into the gym a couple of weeks later and they're like, they're the boss of the gym. They own the gym. They're like, yeah, love it.
Well, and to that point, it really is very quick. I mean, like I started out, people, I didn't even really have weights. I had some ankle weights that we were using. And Natalie was like, well, maybe you should order some. So she sent me a link to what I could possibly order on Amazon. I ordered them. I was on the phone with my husband and I had these Amazon packages on the porch. And I was like, holy crap, I don't know what I ordered, but I got to call you back. Like I cannot pick this box up, and talk on the phone. So I dragged this heavy box in. I opened it up and I was like, it's my weights for Natalie. I'm never going to be able to do these weights. So I called my husband back and I was like, did I tell you I'm working with a trainer? And he was like, no. Well, I am. And I had to order weights. And so now, after a few short sessions with only the lightest weight on each of the little dumbbells, we have all the weights on both of them. And she was like, man, we got to make this heavier. And I'm like, holy moly, I don't know that I'm ready for more. But it's kind of a gentle way. But she doesn't, again, I said she takes no prisoners. You're going to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
Or she's not your person. I mean, those are the real things. Have you, just out of curiosity, have you had people in gyms hire you off watching other people have the camera set up and doing their workouts?
Yeah. I have had people go up to my clients and say, yeah, oh, what are you doing? Are you watching a video on YouTube? What video are you watching? And they're like, no, I've got my trainer there.
She's live.
And I'm like, hi.
So I work with you one-on-one. And the reason was I have a friend and she started working out, I'm going to say a full 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure it was before COVID because we had lunch and I was like, wow, look at you. She was always thin and trim, but now she's like buff. And she goes, yeah, I've been going to the gym in our apartment every night. I'm like, holy crap, you look amazing. So I reached out to her and I was like, can I come follow you around your gym? Like, I'll work around your schedule, but like, I kind of know how to use some of the equipment, but, not fully, the boss of it at this point. And she goes, oh, yeah, let me look at my schedule. Well, weeks passed. It's Christmas. We're busy. Things happen. And I reached out to you and I was like, Natalie, okay, I want to work with you. What does this look like? How do we make this happen? So we did. And my ultimate goal is to be able to go hang out with this other gal and work out with her, just, so I have a friend also. But I also didn't want to be the one doing it going, oh, I can't lift 5 pounds. Like I wanted to already have some structure going there. So I work on with you one-on-one, works out well. We work out in the morning and Natalie gets to do her workouts, morning for her, after, I don't know, middle of the night for me. So you get to keep your schedule. So you've created really the life of your dreams.
Yeah.
But then you have a group program. What does that look like? Like, I haven't really gotten involved in that, but what does that look like? How does that work with a group?
So it's my membership program
Okay.
it's more for people who they're motivated to exercise. They haven't got a problem with motivation. It's they need some guidance on what to do. And sometimes it's not even what to do, it's how to do it safely. And sometimes it's women who want a plan, but they also want a little bit of accountability to go, okay, I've done weeks 1 to 4. This isn't quite working. This I'm really liking. This, I'm getting a bit of a twinge in my shoulder maybe. And they've got me to then just refer back to whenever they want. We've got a Facebook group and they can contact me directly and just go, I was doing this exercise in the gym. This doesn't feel right. Can you help me? And then we just, exchange some messages back and forth. And I do something called a form check. So if you're exercising, whether it be in a gym or not, and you're picking up a little bit of a twinge or something doesn't feel right, you record yourself doing this exercise. And then you either send it to me, if you're a little bit shy, you send it to me, or you can post it in the Facebook group. And all you do is put form check. And then what I do is I check your form. And then I send you some coaching back on the form. All my members in my membership have got access to exercise tutorials. But it's obviously a basic tutorial to suit everybody's needs. That doesn't mean that the tutorial that I've put in there is going to be right for your body. You might experience something that other people don't. You might hold yourself or carry yourself a little bit differently. You might have an old injury. It could be anything. So just because you've watched the tutorial and you've done exactly what the tutorial says, it still might not be right for you, because we're all unique. We're all completely individual, which is why I don't believe in group programs per se. If there's a group program that can be individually tailored to you, yes. But if it's just a group program, then no, because your body's not a group. Your body's yours. It's unique to you. Your goals are unique to you, and your lifestyle is unique to you. You need a plan that's going to complement that.
And I love that, complement that, because again, I'm already kind of doing what I do. So what can we do to, bolster that? So what are 3 benefits to me doing strength training? Because I think that's what you call what we're doing. Is it strength training? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I love this.
What are 3 benefits that I'm getting by doing strength training with you?
Okay. One of my favorite ones that not many people appreciate is we start to lose bone density at the age of 32, 33. And that's really young, right? We start to lose bone density at that age. Strength training is the only proven natural method that helps to increase bone density at any age.
Okay, so wait, at any age.
Yeah. So if you start, yeah. If you start, like I've taken on clients and I've started to teach them how to lift at the age in their 70s. And the reason I think it's important is, as you get older, we do get weaker. That's natural. And it's not something we can really stop. We can, help it along. We can help prevent it by keeping our muscles and our bones strong. But the aging process is always going to be there. And with that, we're more prone to maybe losing our balance, falling over. Our bones are a little bit more brittle. So when we do, we can get hurt much more easily. Strength training can help protect us from that all the way through. And I love that. I absolutely love that. And the other thing I love about strength training, so number 2, if you like, it allows you to perform everyday tasks just easier. You know, I had a woman in Texas message me a couple of months ago, and she said, I was doing my garden and I've got a huge plant pot, and I always have to ask my husband to help me move this plant pot. I didn't even think about it. I just picked it up and moved it. And I didn't realize until after I'd done it, oh my God, I've just lifted this plant pot. Now, to her, that makes her life much more easier. She enjoys gardening, and now she doesn't have to rely on her husband being around to do it. That's massive.
Yes, very. Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a huge one. The last one, and I have to say this is probably my favorite, is the confidence element. When you realize that you can lift something you never thought you could lift, when you lift something that you thought was impossible, the confidence it gives you outside, so anywhere in your life, is huge. Is huge. I remember saying to clients who have been with me for a while, that is what I weigh. That's me.
And you just lifted it.
And you just lifted me. And they're like, no. Like, yes. And then we go, okay, if they're heavier than me, we go, right, now we're going to try and lift you. And then they lift themselves and they're like, I can't believe I've just done that. And then a lot of my clients go, ooh, can we try and lift my husband now? And then they'll go home and they'll go, I just lifted you. You better watch out.
I just lifted you. Oh my gosh, I love that. So if any of our listeners wanted to work with you, how would someone get hold of you? Like, do you have a website? Do you have a link? We can put it all in the show notes, but just tell me a little bit, like, how do we find you?
I hang out everywhere. So LinkedIn, Natalie Hurdley. I do have a company page, which is NH Personal Training. Instagram, NH Personal Training. I'm on Twitter, TikTok. I don't really share valuable stuff. It's just me training and funny stuff on TikTok. So if you just like the entertainment side of things and me training, then TikTok's the place. And then I do have a free Facebook group, which is Fitter, Stronger, Healthier Female Fitness Group. And that's on Facebook. So it kind of depends where you hang out. And then my website is nhpersonaltraining.mykajabi.com.
Awesome. And I will get all these links and put them in there because anybody can work with you like at any level. And just to be clear, when I started, like we did the warm up and I thought we should be done. And amazingly, we were not done. That was like truly the warm up. And so as much as I really am not like the exercise queen, don't necessarily like it or enjoy it, I'm getting results so quickly that I think I thought would have taken years to get to. So it's been impressive how quickly things have come about. So thank you for that, Natalie. I just can't wait till the next the next milestone. I don't even know what that'll be, but the next one. Do you have any parting words to encourage the listener?
Just start. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter where you are or what you've got access to. Start lifting. Just start lifting. The benefits of it are huge.
So everybody's going to be Googling Natalie Hurdley to see, where she was in her competitions, what's going on. I know a recent competition was canceled for really great reasons. So I'm sure there are going to be more coming up. Make sure to let me know because I'll be sure to share because I love celebrating with other people. Like it doesn't have to be my deal. I'm good to celebrate you and all your accomplishments. And I remember following back when you were like, I won medals and I broke records. And it was like, oh my gosh, like I can be the biggest cheerleader and supporter ever because we need that too, right? We need that. We
do definitely. Which is what I do with my clients all the time. I'm like every week, we're like, right, what's gone good this week? Let's go.
The funny thing is, I'm just going to tell y'all, when she had me doing something really hard this week, and I'm just saying really hard, then she asked me a question. And it was like, I can't even breathe. There's no way I can answer you right now. So I had to get to a stopping point and then I could answer her. And yes, I was breathing the whole time, but I couldn't breathe and answer because it was too hard to do those at the same time. Natalie, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate all the information. And I love the fact that you do form checks. You have your membership group and you do form checks in there. That's wonderful because that's how people get hurt, right? They're not doing it right. And that's why you need to hire a coach so you do it correctly. Yeah. And you get the results.
Love it.
It's a both and, not an either or. Thank you for your time. I'm your host, Jennifer Takagi, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.